Hey guys, my name's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, Worth the Read, where we talk about books that are worth your time reading. Today is officially 2 weeks into Black-A-Thon, which is a reading-a-thon that celebrates Black History Month. So I'm going to give you my 2 weeks updates. If you did not see my Black-A-Thon TBR, I'll link it below. My goal for this Black-A-Thon was to read 6 books, and I'm officially 2 weeks into the TBR, and I'm 4 books in. So let's get right into it. One of the challenges for Black-A-Thon was Wakanda Forever. Read a graphic novel or comic book with a Black main character or by a Black author. And to fulfill that, I decided to read Incognito by Matt Johnson. Now, disclaimer, this book is very triggering. It takes place in the 30s, down south, and in New York. The main character name is Zane, and he's passing, meaning he's a Black man, 100% Black. His mom and dad were both Black, but he's light enough to pass for a white man. And because of this, he started a column in a New York newspaper called Incognito, where he would travel down south and write stories about what was going on down there. Things like lynching parties. In the South, if you did not know, there were thousands of lynchings. Thousands, hundreds of thousands probably, but thousands on record that we know of. And they would have, they meaning white people, would have parties once they lynched a Black person. They would hang them from a tree and then kill them, beat them, torture them, and they would gather in these huge mobs and barbecue, take pictures with the hanging fruit, play music, dance around. Children would play at the feet of the dead body, and they were basically celebrating killing a Black person. He would write stories about that. He would travel different places to bring awareness to what was going on down south. Even though he was doing such great work, he was tired of writing under the pen name Incognito. He wanted to have some success for himself, Zane, under his own work. So he begs his editor to, give him more assignments that are less incognito and more just regular news assignments. But his editor says, one more assignment. There's a case down south that has to do with a Black man who's on trial for killing a white woman, and he had no choice but to take it, only because the case was the Black man who was on trial, was his twin brother. Now, his twin brother is darker than him, so his twin brother couldn't pass for a white man, but he's light enough too. He heads down south to try to solve the mystery or murder of this white woman because he knows his twin brother didn't do it. And it lands him in this hick town, I think in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. And he goes on this adventure to solve this murder to save his brother's life. Now, if you did not know, back in the day, when Black men were on trial for things like killing or murdering a white woman, 9.5 times out of 10, it really never made it to trial because there would be mobs of white people who would come and break into the jail, pull the person out, and kill them and hang them outside of the prison. So he knew he had borrowed time to try to solve this murder. He knew he couldn't go down there and take all day and, do it the right way. He knew he needed to rush because within a day his brother would be in jail, and that very night the mob would come and get him to kill him. So the graphic novel takes place down south when the main character trying to figure out what really happened to this woman, and did his brother kill her. This is a triggering book. At first, I read the first page and I was just like, do I feel like reading this? We are in Trump's America, and to be honest, this whole situation with Jussie Smollett from the Fox Empire had just happened when I started reading this, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to deal with this right now. But I decided to read it anyway. I enjoyed it. Read it. I'm not going to tell you what happened to the brother. It's in black and white, which I think was a brilliant idea because of some of the photos being, some of the illustrations being very graphic. If it was in color, I think it would have been harder to digest. Black and white kind of mutes it and makes it easier to read through. It's a note in the beginning of the graphic novel from the author, who is light enough as a black man to pass. And I thought this was an interesting concept for him to write about, being as though he was living that life. 5-star read, great graphic novel, very entertaining, be it though it's a horrible topic to talk about, but it was an entertaining read. I blew through it with no problem, and I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a graphic novel that's kind of heavy but also a mystery, I recommend Incognito. The next selection that I read was the All in This Together book, which is the group read that everyone who's participating in Black-A-Thon was supposed to read, and that is Poet X by Elizabeth Avedado. This book is about a young lady named Zumara, whose mother is extremely Catholic. Strict, Hispanic, Catholic. They live in New York, and her daughter ends up falling in love with slam poetry and writing and things like that. But her mom really feels as though that's something that's the work of the devil. Like, everything should be focused, her life should be focused on God and education and nothing else. If she even looked at a boy, her mom would freak out, to the point where I would deem her mom to be very abusive. Like, it was one scene where she was punishing her daughter because she caught her on the subway kissing a boy, and she made her kneel in rice. And that is a punishment that happened a lot in the South, I know of. And what it does, it basically, the rice grains dig into your skin and basically cut you, and it's very painful. So her mom was very religious, which to me is one of the main issues with religion. I'm a spiritual person. I consider myself a Christian and all that. But sometimes people take religion to such an extreme where they become evil versus godly. And I think her mom was toting that line. She was evil. She did not want her daughter to partake in anything that did not have anything to do with the Lord. And she felt like if she didn't force her in that direction, her life would be ruined. And she didn't let her breathe or do anything enjoyable, which at the end of the day, we all know will only backfire and blow up in your face, and the child will rebel. So, all that being stated, this book is written in verse, so it's a very quick read. They're short pages. I would give this book 3 stars. It was good. It was okay. I was expecting more of the poetry aspect of it. Now, you get poems from her. She would have writing assignments due for an English teacher, who was the person who introduced her to the poetry club. And I liked it because she would write what she really wanted to write. So it would be first draft 1, what she wanted to write, first draft 2, watered down more or less of what she wanted to write, and then the final draft that she would submit would be nothing compared to the first 2 for whatever topic her teacher told her to write about. So it kind of shows that she was stifling herself from the door, and she wasn't allowing herself to enjoy life. And then she kind of rebels for a little bit, and then that's it. It didn't get into it. I think when she finally gave herself over to doing what she wanted, it was the end of the book and it was over. That's my only gripe with this book. I wanted to see her rebel more. I wanted to see her rebel earlier. The whole book, she's basically, toting that line of being herself, her true person, and appeasing her mother. And her dad's no help. Her twin brother is considered very intelligent and goes to a different school than she does. So she's pretty much on her own. And by the time she decides to take her life in her hands, the book's over. So that's my only issue with this book. But other than that, it was okay. It was good. It was okay. I give it 3 stars. 3 stars is pretty good for me. This next book covers the Phila Love Challenge, and that is Pride and Pride by P.O Box. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I've never read Pride and Prejudice, but I loved this book. Just to let you know. I give this book 5 stars. It was amazing, and I'm going to try not to say that word amazing 1,000,001 times because I tend to do that, but this book was excellent. Excellent. Now, the book takes place in Brooklyn. The main character's name is Zari, and she lives in her neighborhood in Brooklyn, and it's really a love story between her and her neighborhood. She loves her neighborhood. It's a community. They're a family. They look out for each other. Everybody's parents can discipline you. You know, they go to the same bodega on the corner. The owner looks out for them. Everybody knows everyone. They're a community. And what I loved about this book was it reminded me of my old neighborhood when I was a child growing up, where it was the same thing. Everybody's outside playing at the same time in the summer. People are running up the streets, double dutch going on, boys playing basketball and football on the street. It was a community. Now, the problem with that in this book was her community was being gentrified. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. And the home that was on the block that was dilapidated across the street from her apartment building where her and her family lived was being renovated. And her sisters, or there's 5 of them, made a bet to see who would move in. They were expecting this well-to-do white family to move into their neighborhood because, like I said, the neighborhood's being gentrified, so it was a lot of different businesses being shoved into the neighborhood. Different buildings were being redone. To their surprise, it was a black family, and there were 2 young men, and she ends up, there's a boy that's around her age and an older brother who's around her older sister's age. In her mind, these young boys don't deserve to live in her neighborhood. They're not black enough because they have money, they speak properly, they went to private school, they're from Manhattan, and she kind of hates them just for moving into her neighborhood before she even gets to know them. And it's a battle between her and the guy who is becoming her love interest, Darius, because they really don't like each other, but they like each other from the jump. It was an amazing story. Her main goal is to get into Howard University, which is a HBCU. If you do not know what a HBCU is, a historical black college or university. I graduated from an HBCU, and come back to her community and make it a better place. That was her main goal throughout this whole book. She said it over and over again, was to go to Howard, come home, and make my community a better place. And Darius kind of threw a wrench in that. She didn't want to focus on a guy. She wanted to focus on her goals. But of course, they end up falling in love. I don't want to tell you what happened in the book. When I tell you this book reminded me so much of my old neighborhood, it made me drive through my old neighborhood just to reminisce. That's how much detail she put into this book. They're an Afro-Latino family, so they speak in Spanish from times, and there's a religious aspect to it as well. It is an excellent book. If you have not read Pride by P.O Box, I give it 5 stars. If you value my opinion for any reason, pick up the book and read it. Not only is the book a great read. I mean, I could not put this book down. I probably read this book in 2 days. And with my schedule, that's saying something. But the inside is beautiful. Look at the colors. The inside of this book is gorgeous. And I showed you this before on my TBR video. But an excellent read. Gentrification is a good thing and a bad thing. And it kind of plays to both parts of that in this book. It's not 100% bashing it, but it's not promoting it as this great thing. And what I loved about it is though she fell in love, and like most YA novels, when girls fall in love, they get dumb and stupid and do stupid things. She really didn't do that. She stuck to who she was as a person and her morals and her beliefs, and I like that. I like a character that does not become ditzy when they fall in love with a boy. Thank you, Pride. Must read. Please do. The last book that I read for the first 2 weeks of Black-A-Thon 2019 was Man-Eater by Lori Goldson. Now, this book I selected because one of my goals for 2019 was to read more self-published books, and I enjoy her novels. I've read 2 of them prior to this, and that covered one of my goals for Black-A-Thon, to read 1 more self-published books and 2 self-published books by Black authors. This book is about a young lady who ends up getting married straight out of college to a guy who kind of makes a decision or tells her, you know, I want you to be my wife. I don't want you to work. I just want you to be a housewife, maintain my home. And she's in love with him at first. But then everything flips. He owns a business. He becomes fat. He becomes very verbally abusive towards her and physically abusive and very controlling. So she ends up killing him. By accident. She kills him by accident, and she ends up on a road trip where she kills other people. And that's all I'll tell you about this book. It's a very short book, maybe 176 pages, so it's a quick read. What I like about Lori's style of writing, she does not write long novels, so you get straight to the point. The thing about books or novels to me is it doesn't matter the amount of pages you have, as long as the story is good, you get to the point, it's not a lot of fluff and unnecessary scenes or characters or dialogue, and she's good at that. She gets straight to the meat and the potatoes of her topic in her books, and it goes from there. I enjoyed this book. I will give it 3 stars. I think I wanted more this time because you really don't get back around to why she, meaning the main character, Sasha, ends up becoming this man-eater, this killer. It's just like she kills her husband and then all of a sudden she just wants to kill all these men. And it doesn't give you backgrounds to why she ends up like this. The main character is telling her story through prison, her prison therapist. So it's told in flashbacks and things like that. So I would suggest if you're looking for a quick self-published author novel to read that will probably take you a day or so, I would suggest this book. But that was my only issue with the book. I didn't get more background to, you know, people just don't wake up, unless you're literally a psycho, wake up and just say, I'm gonna kill you. There was reasons why she killed her husband by accident, but then everybody else she killed was just like, okay, so now you're a murderer? I needed more. But other than that, I would suggest it. 3 stars, Man-Eater by Lori Goldson. And that is my first 2 weeks of Black-A-Thon wrap up. I tried to vlog. I did. I promise you guys, I tried. It didn't happen. I did get my copy of On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. And maybe I'll put that vlog. I did do a little snippet. I'll put that in the video to show you that I'm trying to vlog. I'm trying. But I'm currently reading The Beauty Remains by Ashley Woodfolk. And this is also on my TBR for Black-A-Thon. This is what I'm currently reading. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you're participating in Black-A-Thon, how many books you've gotten in so far. We have 2 weeks left. I know I'm going to hit my goal of 6. I might even read 7. We'll see. I might read another graphic novel because I have another graphic novel written by the Black Eyed Peas up here that I've been meaning to get to for a while. So I might read that as well. I'm proud of myself, you guys. You know it's hard for me to read a lot of books in a short amount of time. But I'm doing this. I'm doing this. That is it from Worth the Read. Let me know what you're reading in the comments below. And let me know if you read these books that I've read. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Have a great day. If you're in Philly, say what's up. Many blessings. Peace out from Worth the Read.